Pangarap mo rin bang makapag-ipon and makapag-invest in the future? Because I was that person too. Naks, past tense. Pero bago nakapag-ipon saka nagkaroon ng investment, I was a cum laude graduate of UP and I was working in a huge company with nice pay. But wala akong ipon. Ang weird, diba? And that went on for years. No savings, no emergency fund. Hindi ko nga alam kung ano yung emergency fund. I never heard of it. Siguro narinig ko pero hindi ako ganun ka-familiar about it. Tapos lagi kong sasabihin, itatabi ko yung 13th month pay, yung mga bonus, ganyan. Tapos marirealize mo, wala na sila lahat. And the term investment for me sounded too social. Parang, pang mga mayayaman lang yan. And so, after 5 to 6 years of working, napagod na ako. I felt really frustrated na nothing's happening with my savings. Lagi mo lang sinasabi na mag-iipon ka, pero wala namang naiipon. I felt like something was wrong. And that journey I will share with you today because from someone na walang ipon, I can now confidently say na meron na po tayong 6-digit savings. Naks! Some might say, ay, yan lang, ang liit. Pero para kasi sa akin na walang ipon dati, yung, alam mo yung meron ka minsan 3,000, 5,000, tas magagastos mo na naman. To have a 6-digit saving is a huge win already. And I know that for someone who's struggling financially to be able to even save, to have something na worth 6 digits, it's already a huge improvement, a huge progress. Welcome to Love University. I am Grace Rubis. I am your podcast host and I'm also an events host as well. And the reason why this financial topic is included in this podcast is because it's painful to feel like you're unable to see the fruits of your labor. Also, financial planning is something that affects all of our relationships, not just the romantic ones, family man yan, work man yan, and relationship with ourselves. So, once again, welcome to Love University, where we're healing hearts and changing lives. So, part 1, paano makaipon kung kulang yung sweldo, ikaw yung breadwinner, bills are all over the place, and constantly, eto pa, laging may extended family that you need to help out. That's a lot, I know. So let me tell you the backstory, no? What ignited the change for me, or who, was Brother Bo Sanchez. When I got so tired kasi of my financial status before, yun nga sabi ko, bakit ganito? Wala pa rin akong ipon. Saktong-sakto na may nabasa akong libro niya about finances. And from there, I attended one of their financial literacy and investment seminars. And I learned, first learning is the abundance formula. The abundance formula goes like 100 minus 10 minus 20 minus 70. Meaning, from your 100% of earnings, 10 goes to tithing if you practice that. It's our love offering to God for all of the blessings that He has given us and acknowledge na we are being blessed so that we can also bless others. Then 20% of our income goes to savings and then investments kapag kompleto na yung savings. And lastly, 70, yan ang spending money. Spending money is 70. Bills, transpo, lahat ng wants and needs, lahat ng pagtulong sa pamilya, pasok dapat within the 70%. So if you have, let's say, 10,000, 1,000 is tithing, 2,000 is savings and investments, 7,000 is allotted to the spending. One time, biniro ko si Brother Bo. Brother Bo, ganun pala yung abundance formula. 70% lang yung spending. Akala ko kasi 110%. Kasi diba, the reason why minsan nagkakautang is because yung paggastos is sobra dun sa kinikita. Kaya, imbis na sa 70%, yung spending mo, naging 110% siya. It's more than what you earn. So, hindi pala ganun. 70 lang. But wait, hindi ko pa na-explain yung 100. And this answers the question na, paano kung kulang yung sweldo? Because it's a valid question. I experienced that too. I was once a teacher, so sabi ko talaga, kulang! Kulang siya sa hopes and dreams ko. Yung 100, dun sa abundance formula, it means that you're able to earn up to 100% of your potential. You're able to earn as much as you can. Kasi syempre sa simula ng mga careers natin, maliit talaga yan. So we have to strive to be the best in our fields so that we can have a salary increase, magkaroon ng promotion, o kaya makalipat to a different company with a better package. Actually, akala ko dati hindi magandang gawin yon, para kang disloyal sa company, ganyan. But maybe you can look for people who are able to do that ethically, professionally. So what worked for me is I gained that 100% or maximum earning potential. Actually, I don't think na maximum ko na siya ngayon, pero napadalago ko na yung income ko, no? I did that by honing my event hosting skill. It's a skill na na-discover namin nung nandun ako sa Latran, Bataan during my first job. I was just doing it for free. I was just doing it because I love doing it. And then eventually, kinommercialize ko siya. And when I started offering event hosting, I started with 3,500 for events. To me, I know I don't deserve that rate, but I have no portfolio. So wala akong social proof. That's why I had to work my way up. And fortunately ngayon, nasa 5 digits na yung earnings ko as a host per event. So it grows over time, but you have to start somewhere. That is me, but we have different skills. Yung iba, they open a resale business, o kaya they have affiliate marketing, o kaya GCash, cash in, mga ganyan ako nakikita. Iba-iba kasi tayo ng pwedeng gusto at saka ng mga side hustle. But to me, I think it boils down to 2 things kapag hirap mag-ipon. First reason is kulang talaga yung sweldo. So that's why we have to add another source of income. I think it allows us to learn more skills as well when we do that. But second reason why people are unable to save is enough naman yung sweldo, actually more than enough. It's just that nagkaroon ng lifestyle inflation. Nung lumaki yung sweldo, lumaki din yung gastos. 'Di ba? Walang proper financial planning. And the thing is, hindi naman kasi lahat ng tao nabibigyan ng lessons about it. Sometimes you really have to seek these types of wisdom. So kung kayang i-budget yung pera, the abundance formula will work. But since it's more of a discipline problem, you might want to consider automating the deductions so that naka-auto-save siya. Ako, I always practice that whenever I'm employed within a company. I ask them to auto-deduct a percentage of my income para hindi ko naiisipin na magtatabi ako kasi I ask them to do it for me na to secure accounts and platforms. If there's one thing that you only need to pick up from this podcast episode is just save 20%. As in, save mo lang yung 20%. The abundance formula of 110, 20, 70, enough na yan, I promise you. Because that really changed my life. OA, pero totoo siya. I'm not actually being dramatic when I say na it changed my life. Kasi hindi ko naman alam yan dati eh. Hindi ko naman alam yung ganong system dati. And when I implemented the system, it really worked greatly for me. So, dun naman sa 20% na saving or investing, nung nag-a-adjust ako, actually hirap akong gawin siya nung susimula. 20% kagad, ang laki na parang ganun. So, what I did was, slowly, I increased it. 5%, 10%, 20%, and now my goal is to save as much as I can, no, from the income. Kung kaya in a month na mag 30% savings, kung kaya in a month na mag 40% savings. Pag blessed ako sa events, lalo na like last year, December, maraming events. So, hindi ko ginol na maggastos lahat yun. I goaled na mas malaki yung maipon ko from that. And the reason why I save as much as I can right now is because I am still building my emergency fund. So, what is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is a fund that you use in cases of real emergencies, not fake emergencies. So, hindi emergency, ay may sale sa Zara, emergency to. Hindi ganon. Okay, yung emergency talagang life or death or freedom or critical, mga ganong emergencies ba? And if you need a reminder, I think we don't have to go too far. There's the pandemic. Ang daming nawalan ng trabaho, ang daming nalugi ang negosyo. But here's the thing, sometimes kahit wala namang pandemic, pwede kang malugi, pwede kang mawala ng trabaho. Emergency fund. And the ideal amount for the emergency fund is 3 to 6 months worth of your monthly expenses. So let's say your monthly expenses, kinompute mo siya, roughly around 20,000 yung nagagastos mo sa isang buwan. 20 times 3 months, 60,000. Minimum mo yan. Now, 6 months will then be 120,000. So that should be your range of emergency fund. Now, for others na mas conservative, they go to 1 year. Kasi sometimes, Alam nyo to eh. Minsan, inaabot ng taon bago makahanap ng bagong trabaho. Diba? It makes sense na kung bakit yung iba, they take up to 1 year of emergency fund. So just to give you a quick story of how my savings saved me, how that 20% saved me. After months of consistently doing that, there was a month na we had an emergency. Not life or death naman, but we had to pay a land title na hindi namin alam na that I had to pay 60,000 pesos. And I have to produce that in 1 month. And I was like, ubus yung ipon ko, tas kulang pa. Pero thank you Lord, nabayaran naman. Ang problema doon, after namin mabayaran yun, the next month, nag-erupt yung wisdom tooth ko. And the surgery is 15,000, I think. So, parang ako, wala na naman. And then, nung na-realize ko na 20% pala ako, umabot. Kasi may iba din akong event hostings eh. So, sabi ko, wow, ito pa pala yung feeling ng may ipon. So, I was able to confidently gain that saving habit, and that actually gave me my dream. One of my dreams, it's having braces. Kasi I know na it's something that I need to work on. And nakapag-ipon ako ng 20,000 to pay the down payment for my ceramic braces. Ganun yung magic ng savings for me. Now, what if you're a breadwinner and you are supporting your family? Minsan nakapagtabi ka kaso may mangungutang o kaya mayroong emergency tapos depleted na naman yung ipon mo, diba? Sabi nga nung isang comment sa Facebook, no, si Rachel, akala mo pag graduate mo, okay na. Hindi mo alam. Ang dami mo palang sasaluhin. Something to that effect. And whenever we have an event for OFWs, a financial event, lagi nilang concern to. It's very similar. And Brother Bo would give a simple instruction. Set 2 kinds of funds. A giving fund and an emergency giving fund. So in your, remember, 70% of living expenses, iset mo yung limit mo kung magkano yung giving fund to your family. And then also set a portion of an emergency giving fund. Kasi lagi yan, kunyari kami last week, nasira yung isa naming electric fan. So kailangan ipagawa, diba? So kukuha sa emergency giving fund. Yung giving fund naman, it's sort of fixed na ito yung consistent na kino-contribute mo sa family or pinapadala mo sa pamilya mo, ganyan. So, medyo may fixed amount na siya. But you have to set a percentage. Why? So that kapag naibigay mo na yun sa kanila at nanghingi pa sila, let's say hindi naman siya life or death, diba? You could say na, I'm sorry, wala na. Kasi yun naman talaga yung sinet mo na budget eh. The rest are, let's say, re-allotted for savings, re-allotted for your food, your transportation, diba? Because a lesson that I learned is that if you don't set boundaries with other people, you're teaching them bad habits of leaning on you too much. Naalala niyo yung kwento ko na I had to pay a land title for 60,000 pesos. Nagpanic ako nun. Sobrang nagpanic ako na, Lord, saan ko kukunin to? 60,000. And I attempted to borrow money from one of my uncles. Kasi I was so panicked, I was so desperate. Unfortunately, walang-wala din siya. Nagalit ba ako? Hindi. Actually, after ko mabayaran yung 60,000, I felt so grateful to him na hindi niya ako napautang. Kasi, it pushed me. I realized that sometimes, when you don't help people, you're actually helping them. It's weird, no? You don't have to feel like pasan mo ang daigdig. Hindi naman tayo telenovela. We are not born to save the whole community, to save the whole neighborhood, to save the whole extended family. You don't owe them that. I mean, we will set a giving fund, but that's the allotted portion. You have to set your limits. You have to set your boundaries, or else, paano ikaw? Paano naman yung hopes and dreams and needs mo? Paano naman yung future mo? Siyempre, ibang usapan yung kung anak mo yan, asawa mo yan, o kaya magulang mong hindi na kayang mag-work. That's a different story. But the thing is, just set your giving fund and your family emergency fund. Different from your emergency fund. Diba? Daming fund. I know it's tough love to say no at times, but we have to let them learn and grow din eh. So if you find it hard to say no, I already created episode 22 for that topic. Nasa description na rin. So again, abundance formula, earn as much as you can 100%, less 10 if you do tithing, and then less 20% for your savings and investments, and live within your 70%, including your giving fund and emergency giving fund. As I have sampled though kanina, this may be so tough to follow strictly. So, work your way up. Sa savings, pwedeng 5 muna, 10, 15, and then if you can go bigger, the better. We just have to build that habit and be faithful to that habit. Kasi kahit gaano kalaki yung kitain natin, kung hindi tayo marunong magtabi, and we're not able to build that discipline, wala rin. That's the reason why we know of some people who earn 6 digits, walang savings. Talo pa nung maliit ang sweldo, pero may ipon. Wealth is not what you earn, it's what you keep. That's according to one of our mentors, Boss Rex Mendoza. So, paano naman yung mga wants and mga simple pleasures? So, I also have that and set a percentage for it too. O kaya, others naman use a side hustle. Talagang nakaka-inspire yung side hustle nila to attain those simple pleasures. Some people use their side hustle to fund their travels, to fund their shopping, mga ganyan. Or splurge for food. A few more personal tips that I have. Number 1, I don't have a postpaid plan. I don't have a lot of subscriptions. I don't go to Starbucks more than once a week or to expensive coffee shops unless ililibre. Or talagang may meeting, ganyan. I actually have a 3-in-1 na imported coffee for the reason na walang Philippine coffee mix na can suit my preference for coffee. And I need to be able to carry it with me all the time kasi I go around a lot. So that one is quite expensive for 300 for 25 sticks, but still ang layo ng presyo niya if I were to buy it from a coffee shop. And then on spending, I go for quality over quantity. I rarely go to Zara, but when I do, yun talagang kailangan ko ng mga pieces. And then I have one expensive rubber shoes. It's my exercise shoes. It's my workout shoes. That one costs 9,000. Pero isa lang siya. Kung pwede lang 9 years ko din siya gamitin. So, 5 years ko siguro siyang gagamitin. And then, I bought a black with white lining para classic siyang tingnan. Kahit anong isuot ko, bagay siya. I actually have a Stan Smith, no? I did a Stan Smith. But that one I got second hand. Diba? Ganun siya. To me, I avoid unnecessary expenses and go for quality items na classic and I can wear or use for a long time. Tapos, I can mix and match pa with other pieces. I also avoid makeup hauls. But I have a few expensive makeup products. Meron akong 2 NARS and 2 MAC na lipstick. Pero talagang minamaximize ko sila. So again, quality over quantity. What books, platforms, or groups should I look into so I can be more financially aware? So, para mas maging strategic and mas financially wise, you should buy finance books, diba? Ang dami dyan. Kay Chinky Tan. Grabe, collection yun. And then, Vince Rapisura is also a good author. What I love about it is Philippine context siya. And then, si Brother Bo, meron din siyang book talaga na The Abundance Formula. So, Bo Sanchez. But the very first book that I had, which is a classic across all nations, is The Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. There's a reason why it's a staple for financial wellness. On how to save, nakikiusap po ako. If there's one thing that you need to remember, please kahit yung 20% lang. Ipa-auto-deduct mo kung kailangan. Put it somewhere na hindi ka halo ng living expenses mo. It's also one of those comments that we have received on Facebook. Huwag mo siyang ihalo sa living expenses mo and then be very consistent with it. That's one of the common terms na lumitaw sa Facebook comments is be very consistent. And I would like to call it be faithful. Faithful ka ba? Loyal ka ba? So, kahit dun lang sa saving 20%, be very loyal. Because eventually, when you build that habit, you're gonna love it. Because you'll see that your savings are growing. Parang, wow, malaki ipon ko. And then, it makes you even more critical with your spending kasi parang, lalagay ko na lang sa ipon ko to. Something like that. And then, for your emergency fund, make sure na valid yung mga emergencies na paggagamitan. Okay? And then kung maggamit mo siya, kailangan ibalik mo siya, i-replenish mo siya. Continue to grow it until you have 6 months worth of your monthly living expenses. But before we go to part 2, which is gonna be in the next episode, there's an expense that we need to be aware of, and that's life and health insurance. If working ka naman, may HMO tayo, but one thing that we need to prepare for is critical illness and life insurance. It's a necessity in case of those real and unfortunate events. So my strategy for that is not VUL kasi I practice BTID, buy term insurance and invest the difference. For my lifestyle kasi medyo hindi ganun ka-affordable yung VUL. And I have guidance naman on how to invest. So that's why I do BTID. So imbes na ipang VUL ko siya, I will just buy a cheaper term insurance and then I will invest on my own. Pero dahil hindi ako expert dyan, you read that book of Vince Rapisura. It's on the show notes or in the caption. Learning Wealth, I think is the title. I think he also has a video about this. Pero sa akin kasi naging enough naman na yung book. And you can also join the Facebook group Ahon Pinoy. Ahon Pinoy. There's a group named like that in Facebook. Very, very informative. Other groups that you could join are Financial Literacy PH, or we call them FinLit. And then there's also Tipid Living. So balansehin nyo. Alam ko masarap tumambay sa homebodies. Pero hindi kasi pwedeng laging palabas yung pera. And then for matters of the heart that affects the finances, like helping relatives, mga ganyan, you should also be a member of Relationship Matters PH. Sila ka-RM, Richard and Maricar Poon. Because they really do real talks, no? Sa pagtulong, sa extended families, live and cleave. Because relationships also deal with money. So, combined yan, merge. So, they talk a lot about that. And I hope that you can join or follow them para marami tayong mga matutunan. So, for part 2, which is investing, we're gonna reserve that for the next episode because this is already fully loaded. Ang haba na ng episode na to. Baka hindi ka na makapag-implement. So, I hope that you would please prioritize saving. If you really want to save, uunahin mo siya. Uunahin mo siya bago ka gumasta. Savings first. That will be your first expense. Saving 20% alone is massive. Just be loyal. And if there is something else that you have learned from this part 1 episode, or there's a striking line, or maybe may questions ka, please tag me in your IG stories at GraceRubies with an _. Thank you so much for listening to this part 1 here at Love University. Remember, things will get better, you will grow wiser, and this makes you stronger. See you sa part 2, how to invest.